It's like boss makes $1, I make a dime, government takes 3 cents away. It's like, what the hell?
Well, that didn't rhyme.
Well, it doesn't rhyme because that's the hard reality of taxes.
Yeah, motherfucker. We're gonna take it up a few notches right now. See if y'all can keep up. Wanna give a motherfucker sucker, put your hand up.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 107 of the ScruffCast. I'm John.
And I'm Dan's replacement for the week.
Taryn. Oh, I already got a feeling with the way this episode's going. You had to be bougie with the intro, say you're Dan's replacement, and also I'm getting bad vibes already because I said episode 107, and listeners of the show will know that me and Dan discussed a couple weeks back we weren't going to get into this whole long drawn out episode number names. We're going to, just keep it quick and snappy. 107. It's also thrown me off because this is the first time I've recorded the podcast with another person across from me at the desk here in, I want to say 15, 16, probably 15 episodes. I think you were on episode 92, Emergency Backup Guest Host. So it's been a while. I guess I'll let you guys know, Dan couldn't obviously make it this week. He was celebrating his wife Anna's birthday with her, which is today, the day we're recording. So he left it up to me to find a suitable replacement. And, there are myriad guests who would love to fill that chair on the podcast. But there was 2 reasons. One, you had a great advantage because we didn't have to do this through Zoom. You live here. So you were on hand. And 2, I'll let the listeners know now. Taryn was eager for the chance to jump back in the chair. So you guys will have to write in next week to scruffcast@gmail.com and let us know if she was up to the task.
Well, I just want to say this one thing before we get started. Before John hit record, he said, "Don't make me regret this," and then he did the sign of the cross.
I'm a religious man. All right. A listener wrote into scruffcast@gmail.com, just like you guys can. We only got a single email this week. We appreciate all of our emails. The subject line is Breaking Radio Silence. Hey, Scruffs. Your overused guest, Kaylon, here. That's why I didn't have you fill in this week. You're overused. And to be fair, Taryn is the least tenured guest. You were only on one episode, and then you were part of episode 100.
So an episode and a half.
Yeah. Well, everyone who was previously on there was on episode 100, so they all get the half. Hey, Scruffs, your overused guest, Kaylon, here. As you know, I listen to every one of your episodes. I have enjoyed hours of your content, and so I feel bad when you remind me I haven't wrote in a while. Things have been busy with work in the new home. Well, congratulations on your new home. But the ScruffCast has provided a reliable and welcome break week after week. And we continue to be reliable, coming in on the weeks when even one of us can't make it to the show. You obviously weren't on the show last week, but me and Dan were saying that we go through these sort of periods of time where we're like, we haven't heard from Kaylon in a while. Like, whether it's on the show or regardless of the show, I'm like, is he mad at us? Is he doing okay? I don't know. But that's why he's breaking his radio silence.
And you don't reach out to make sure he's alive and well?
I would assume I would find out if he wasn't alive and well. He's clearly alive and well. I was writing into the show. We have millions of listeners, and we only get 3 emails a week, so
that's true. Good point.
We can't check in on all of them. The email continues here. Have you ever just forgot how to do something? I went out to the driving range this week to test out my knee and saved my last 20 balls for the driver. Well, guys, you might as well put a cricket bat in my hands because I could not figure out how to use that driver at all. It's like I couldn't even keep a grip on it through the swing. Anyways, hoping I can fix that soon and catch up with you guys on the course. So I pose a question to you. And I will say, come on, nobody knows how to use the driver. Keep it in the bag. Unless you want to go hard right. Just slice it away. So has there ever been anything that you've just ever forgotten how to do? You haven't done it in a while and you're like, I don't remember this.
Yeah, this is gonna surprise you.
Okay. I'm ready to be surprised.
So, do you know when you were in high school and you were doing a math exam?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh man, I did this in class. And then you get to the exam and you're like, I don't know how to do this.
Yes.
That.
Listeners, that does not surprise me at all. Me and Taryn have long said that, and I guess I don't know if you somehow have never heard me mention Taryn on the podcast. She's my fiance. We have long said that whenever we have children, we hope they inherit my math skills.
And they inherit my writing skills.
Yes, but my comedy, of course.
Well.
Anyways, has there ever been anything I forgot? I'm not sure if anyone in particular stands out to me, but I find these days a lot more time. I find a lot more often I'm asking myself, like, am I stupid when I can't figure something out?
You do say that a lot.
And it's like, it's like it's like a concerning amount. Like I'm trying to do something and, whether it's like put something back on the pantry and I'm like, was this here before? Well, how come this is not off? Am I stupid? I don't remember. Just stuff like that. And I've never known how to use the driver and hit the ball straight up there, but that's something that I also don't know how to do. I think I told the story on the podcast before. I know I've told you this story before, Taryn, about one time my family went camping and they brought like all their bikes, like for my brother, and then they went camping with another family and their kids brought their bikes. And the kids all went to go get ready to go on a bike ride, and my brother just forgot how to ride a bike.
No, I don't remember that story.
Which is absurd because that's once you know how to ride a bike, it's so ingrained in you. That's the thing they use as the example. Like, oh, it's like riding a bike.
Yeah.
Like once you know, you never forget.
Yeah, an elephant never forgets.
Yeah, and somehow I forgot. Are you calling my brother an elephant? A chunko? Calling him a big chungus? I mean, he doesn't listen to the show. Although he didn't make an appearance, but we've talked about him a couple times. Episode 6, Nafam, you guys may remember him. He wrote Nafam on his school paper.
Oh, yeah.
It's literally over 100 episodes ago. Damn.
Oh, here's something that I always have to watch, like a YouTube video, because I always forget when I go to make this how to do it. Making quinoa. I don't know why, but I have to go back and watch a YouTube video, a specific one. So I have to track down this video in order to make quinoa. And I don't know why, but I can never remember it whenever I go to make it.
How often do you make quinoa?
Like twice a year.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think we've eaten quinoa once since you moved in here. Have we?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Maybe literally just once.
And I had to look up the video that time.
Yeah.
Like every other time.
Yeah, there's just those things, right? Because like back in the day, you didn't have YouTube. People didn't need to look this stuff up. I think like my uncle.
You were forced to remember.
Yeah, you just remember everything.
Yeah.
Right? But like anytime I go make grilled cheese, I'm like, let me go. It's not necessarily like I don't know how to make grilled cheese, but it's like last time I was a little burnt on one side. It's like, let me go look up how to make the perfect.
You want to perfect it.
Yeah, surely someone out there, I'm just one trick away from making Gordon Ramsay's, worthy grilled cheese. All right. The email actually continues here.
Oh, okay.
Want to call out a few things from last week. All right. And by the way, listeners, I love when you guys do this, when you write in with just comments about various things. Because we always say, write in with me just a top 5. We didn't do a top 5 last week. Or we'll talk about something, we'll say, write in and let us know. You guys can just write in, just give us bullet points. Let us know whatever you want. You too, Taryn, the weeks you're not on.
Copy that.
Want to call out a few things from last week. You had a guest write in. I love this correction here. You had a guest write in with the legendary long email. In the email, they claimed their KitchenAid mixer was their, this is bolded, most used appliance. No chance. I know you were trying... Kaylon doesn't let any bullshit go. No chance. I know you were trying to move quickly, but that passed through way too easily. At the very least, consider the fact that 95% of the times they used the mixer, they would have used the oven as well. I can't disagree.
Yeah.
I can't disagree.
Yeah.
I mean, the logic is sound. It makes complete sense. I wonder if he noticed this right as he was listening. He's like, hang on, no way.
And then took out like a note.
Yeah, you wrote
pad
it down or something?
paper and like wrote it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never had the experience of listening to the podcast.
You haven't? Because we listen to it in the car all the time.
Not all the time. Occasionally, because it's the only way I can get you to listen. That or... Oh, well, to be fair, when episode 100 aired, Taryn was really eager to download it then the morning it released and listen back to her segment. Like, ooh.
Just my segment.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But now the entire podcast is my segment each week. So it's like, it's that same eagerness. He goes on here. Talks about Boy Meets World. Mr. Feeny changes jobs throughout the series as the kids move from elementary to high school, etc.
Wait. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is this all in response to this email from last week?
Yeah, we had a long email.
Okay,
where
I
they
didn't
wrote
know
in
if he
top
just
fives.
went from like the KitchenAid mixer to Mr. Feeny, because it was like, whoa, that's a
big jump.
a big jump.
But that's what the email was. It was
Okay,
jumping
no,
all
I was just asking if it was in response to. Okay.
Yeah, it was an email that I think the description of the podcast last week was John and Dan literally read an email for 30 minutes, which is true because
Okay.
it was a long catch-up email.
Okay.
I think that was the subject of it.
Gotcha.
So going through the various top fives and stuff. Boy Meets World. Mr. Feeny changes jobs throughout the series as the kids move from elementary to high school, etc. Explaining why he couldn't remember the exact job, but he was also a neighbor. So I brought this up because I just thought it was weird how he was always there. Is it like if, one day we have children, right? Mm-hmm. They went to school and their principal, does it say he was a teacher? I don't know. And he was like the teacher or principal and he's like, hey kids, and he's also our neighbor. So he's like, oh, how's your kid doing or whatever? I don't know. I don't want to just throw a random name out there, but we'd be like, okay, we're friendly with the neighbor and he's our kid's teacher, elementary school principal. Then the kids go off to high school and it's like, Mr. Feeney's like, I changed jobs and now I'm in the high school your kids are in. And then they go off to college and he's like, I've changed jobs again. Wouldn't that be a little concerning?
That would be
like,
definitely concerning.
Mr. Feeney, back off, Feeney.
Or perhaps it's the other way around. Maybe these kids just keep showing up in Mr. Feeney's business.
Kids are known to get into hijinks
Which
now and again.
I think is a little bit more threatening because there's more than one of them.
And Mr. Feeney's old, so they're going to beat him up.
Yeah, so they should do a spin-off called
Fearing the Feeny. Or Feeney's Fear.
Yes. And it's just he keeps trying to get away from these kids. Maybe that's the actual plot of Boy Meets World.
That'd be good.
And these kids just keep showing up everywhere he goes.
Maybe that's it. He changes because I'm assuming I'm not super familiar with Boy Meets World, but maybe he changes jobs in between seasons, right?
Yeah.
They come back and the kids are going to high school and they show up. It's like, Mr. Feeny, you're here. And Mr. Feeny tried to change jobs and get away from the kids terrorizing his life, and he's like, they're back.
They're back. Yeah.
And we all know, with the housing market the way it is, Mr. Feeny couldn't just easily sell his home.
Exactly. Right? And the job market too, right? Probably.
Yeah, I mean, how many schools and stuff are in the area, right? And once you make that jump from elementary school to high school, Mr. Feeny ain't going back down dealing with those elementary school turds,
he's trying. You see?
Taking a pay cut.
You can see the traction too, right? Like he goes from, what does it start off, middle school?
I don't know.
Let's say middle school to high school to college, right? It's not like he's backpedaling or anything. He's like advancing his career and these kids are just following him around wherever he goes.
Poor Mr. Feeny.
That's the true plot of Boy Meets World.
We need the Feeny spinoff.
Yeah.
They were like the Zack Snyder cut of the Justice League. We need the Feeny cut. The DVD commentary.
But isn't that the same thing that happened on Saved by the Bell? Mr. Belvedere?
I think so.
Didn't he, when they went to college, didn't he just show up at the college too?
Because they have to justify the characters being around.
I feel like Mr. Belvedere was really trying to reclaim his youth, and that's why he was hanging around with these kids all the time.
Mr. Belvedere is balding. That's why.
Mr. Feeny was just trying to live his life. Mr. Belvedere had some demons he needed to address.
Yeah, and Boy Meets World.
And that's the true difference between the two shows.
In Boy Meets World, the kids were the demons.
Exactly.
Mr. Feeny demons.
Like Children of the Corn.
Yes, which I've never seen because I don't do the spooky stuff. All right, next point here. Angela Anaconda's nemesis, Nanette Namor, who she called Ninny Poo. Okay, I said her name was Ninny Poo. I was incorrect. Couldn't remember the actual name. Do you remember that show, Angela Anaconda?
I never really watched it, but I remember it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Next point here. The Stroopwafel story was the Netherlands, not Belgium. So Kalon was on an episode, I want to say it was Kalon's Back, the Marathon, episode, 60-something. And we did top 5 desserts. And he was telling a story about, he was painting the picture, actually, the visual that, you were in, I said Belgium last week, but the Netherlands, you're walking down the street, they're selling this dessert called the Stroopwafel at carts and stuff.
What is a Stroopwafel?
You got to go back and listen to the episode.
Okay.
I don't even remember.
Can I look it up? Am I allowed to use my
phone? We don't really like to be informed on the show.
It's going to take me a while to spell Stroopwafel because My spelling
I'm
skills
just going
are
to charge
just
ahead
like my
without
math
you because
skills.
we don't do research on the show. The ScruffCast is all about being uninformed. It's about hot takes. The hotter the take, the better. All right. Anyways, I don't even remember how it came up last week. All right, his next point here. The Eurovision movie was great. Definitely need to watch it. I guess this is to Dan because, I mean, we've both watched the movie, Taryn. Mm-hmm. But Dan said last week he tried to watch it, but Anna vetoed it twice.
Without even giving it a chance?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, apparently.
It's so good. We were listening to the soundtrack in the car yesterday.
There's some bangers on that soundtrack. Mm-hmm. And we're not going to give Anna gruff because it's her birthday. The day we're recording anyway, but what better birthday gift than Eurovision Song Contest Story Fire Saga?
I highly recommend it.
So we have the opposite problem. Whenever we go to watch movies, you never want to veto them. The only ones that Taryn vetoes is the James Bond movies, which listeners will know. I made the pledge earlier this year. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to watch all the James Bond movies this year. There's only 26. Easy peasy. Well, I've watched 30 movies this year, none of which have been James Bond.
And we're halfway through the year.
And I'm doing better than a movie a week right now.
Yeah.
And anytime Taryn, because Taryn's always like, oh, which movie, what do you want to watch? Because I got to pick the movie most of the time, which is fine because I have excellent taste. But I always say, oh, let's watch the James Bond movies. We'll start with, at the beginning. I think the first one's like Dr. No. And you're like, no, I don't want to. I'm like, so
it's
the
right
reason.
there in the title, Dr. No. So I'm just
once we watch that first one, then we can get on to the more exciting ones. So you're the reason I haven't started my quest. Here's the thing. Once I get started, then that ball just keeps rolling. The snowball effect, I'm going to watch them all. Easy peasy. But I got to really start. All right, the email goes on here. Oh, continuing about Eurovision. The movie was great. Definitely need to watch it. If you want to be entertained, watch Russia's submission to this year's canceled Eurovision. I guess canceled because of coronavirus. Ridiculous. Compare the view count to the other submissions this year. We'll have to make a note and we'll have to watch that afterwards.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
And if it's worthy, I'll tweet it out from the ScruffCast Twitter account, where you guys can follow us on ScruffCast or on Twitter and Instagram at ScruffCast.
I was telling you the other day that I watched. There was this YouTube video. It was a compilation of clips from every single Eurovision contest, like all the winners, dating back. Like I don't know. It's been going on since. I
think it was post World War II era.
60 years, I think.
Yeah.
Man, there are some songs on there that I'm like, how did this win? There was one that was titled, it was like a boy, a bench, and a tree.
Was it literal? That's what it was about?
Well, I don't know. It was in a different language, so like I couldn't hear, but that was the title of it. And then there was like Celine Dion won, I think in like 1988. And she was representing Switzerland. And I was like, but she's Canadian.
But was one of her parents born there or something? I
Maybe.
don't know. But I was reading about it, and like apparently China's been in it before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what else was interesting? At the bottom of the screen, it said each year how many countries participated. And each year you could see the number slowly like getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So like there were some years where they had like 20 countries performing.
And is that like the highest they've had? Like
No.
That was
like,
on the low end?
I can't remember, but like it was in like the last number I remember paying attention to was like 38, 39, something like that.
That's pretty substantial.
That's pretty beefy. Yeah.
All right. I'll have to give this Russia submission a watch.
Yeah. They're great too because the 2020 submissions, they're kind of like music videos because they had to record them themselves, right?
Oh, so
there's
is the
like
contest still on, but just
they did it.
People submitting online.
They did it, but you had to submit your video online, and so like there's editing and stuff like that. So
all right,
it takes it to another level.
We'll
and also, did you know that's how ABBA became big?
Really?
Yeah, they performed Waterloo.
Yes.
Which is actually about the Battle of Waterloo.
Which I never really like. I'd heard the song before, but I never really like listened to the lyrics until they did a sing along in that movie. But
yeah, that's how they were like discovered. And Katrina and the Waves, Walking on Sunshine.
Like I'm walking on sunshine. Yeah.
They won.
Really?
Yeah.
I got to do more research about this.
I know.
All right. The last point here, John. How haven't you seen The Departed? Come on, dude. That being said, both of you still need to see Good Will Hunting. Yes, Kaylin has long been on a conquest to get me and Dan to watch Good Will Hunting.
I feel like Good Will Hunting is like a very Kaylin-esque film. I don't know why.
One of his favorite movies. And you know what? It's always...
But I see Good Will Hunting all over him.
It's always intrigued me, but I've never watched it. He continues here. Thanks for the entertainment, guys. Kaylin, sent from the cell phone. And just to let you guys know for fun, in Gmail here, they have this feature where it like suggests replies. And here are the automatic suggested replies it gave me for your email, Kaylin. Thanks for the update. Wow. And got it. Sometimes it's a hit or miss. Like I've received a message before, I think from you being like, oh, hey, how's your day going or something. And the automatic reply selection, some of them are like, it's going great. And I'm like, my phone obviously does not know me.
Yeah.
I never reply my day's going great.
If I ever got a message like that from you, I'd think that somebody killed you and stole your phone.
Yeah. They abducted me, cut my finger off to unlock the phone. Why would they have to cut my finger off to unlock the phone? They just keep my finger on me.
Well, because if they're leaving your body behind, they take the finger with you. They don't want to have to
drag me around. Although
they just take the finger. It's a lot more convenient.
I think they did testing, or Apple said, when they released the first iPhones that had the fingerprint unlock, that if you were dead, it wouldn't work.
Oh.
That's what they said. I don't know. Because they don't want people cutting people's fingers off.
No. And how would they test that?
I don't know.
They just take it to the morgue.
Well, how many people work at Apple? Surely one of them must have died.
Yeah, true.
Over the course of the phone.
I mean, it's better than facial recognition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, well, I don't know.
This is getting really morbid.
That's the ScruffCast, where, we're all over the place. Well, we haven't watched The Departed. No. I tried to get you to watch it last week or 2 weeks ago, but you vetoed that one.
I didn't veto. Okay, here's my thing. I do not digest violence on screen very well. I have a really hard time watching violence, especially realistic violence.
But you digest violence not on screen, like in real life will?
Oh, yeah. I'm just like a monster.
So we didn't watch it, but I told her, come on, it's not that violent.
I will eventually get around to watching it.
And eventually I will
muster up the
week and I'll
courage.
say. But instead we watched Zodiac, a movie all about a serial killer, which it's right there in the title, or like in the movie. You know it's going to be about killing. Which they recently added to Netflix. It's an older movie. I'll say, you know what? It's pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm not going to go giving out the ScruffCast seal of approval because I don't want us to give it out too willy-nilly. It's going to lose its luster.
Yeah.
It's like a Michelin star, right? Mm-hmm. It's very, it has an esteem. Mm-hmm. Like I want like a dream for the podcast. One day we get to the level where we're on the back of the box of movies and stuff as critics because they just put it on there. ScruffCast seal of approval.
Yeah.
So other people, because the ScruffCast is so large at that point, they go, if the ScruffCast likes it, you know what? I'll go for it.
Yeah.
I'll go for it. And
Move over, Ebert.
Yeah, exactly. Move over. All right. Well, that was all Kaylin's email, and that was the only email we got this week. We didn't have too much in the notes this week. The only thing I had was this week, and it was actually Taryn's suggestion, Kanye West announced that he was going to run for president of the United States. So you're a big Yeezy fan, Yeezy stan, as they say. What are your thoughts? What do you think about Yee?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a Yeezy fan in terms of his artistic endeavors. But am I a fan of his
she loves the Kardashians, guys.
For lack of a better term, yeah. I do enjoy a good Kanye tweet every once in a while.
He's had some good ones.
Yeah.
None that come to my mind right now, but
no. Well, except for him announcing his
presidency,
run.
which I'm sure will coincide with an album as well.
That's the theory,
right? Because last time he had an album, I don't know, someone crazy, or he did something that was off the rails, which is very Kanye. You know what I'll say? You know what? I don't hate it.
I mean, we don't know what his platform is, so we can't judge it.
Yeah, platforms don't matter these days.
They don't?
It's just all about, nah. If you ask the average person, like, stuff from the platform of one side or the other, whether it's, yes, the Republicans about the Democrats about the Republicans, the average person, right? Not the people you see all over online. Those are not the average people. They don't know shit. They'll just be like, oh, well, he's not Joe Biden, so I'm going to pick him. Or people are like, oh, well, he's not Donald Trump, so I'm going to pick him. The average person doesn't know anything, which is why they got to crack down on like fake news online and stuff. Because you'll see, the boomer-esque people, like one of my aunts included, who I know will never listen to the show, just posting stuff on Facebook all the time, and it's usually just an image of a person that looks like they're talking, and then just like text overlaid beside it. So, for instance, it'd be like Justin, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know what
It'll be like Justin Trudeau,
yeah,
and then it will have like a quote beside him, and it will say something outrageous, where it's like, "We don't want any refugees in Canada," or something like this, right?
Yeah.
And actually, it would more likely be the other way around. It would be, he'd be like, "We're going to let in 5 million refugees this year," or something ridiculous, right? Because it's like a huge number of the population coming in 1 year, which I don't even know how many people immigrate to Canada, but it's not that many per year, right? So just use a totally unfounded claim, and then it will have that quote at the bottom, be like, "Don't let Justin Trudeau ruin the country." And it's like, did he say this? Where did he say this? Is there a video? Like, is this true? I don't know. And then it's not true.
Yeah. And the source is usually like newsnowtoday.com.
Yeah, these sketchy sites, right? As you don't even know. It used to be just like, is it The Onion? No. Okay, then it's true.
Yeah.
And now you don't even know what the hell's true.
Yeah.
And I mean, me and
Could be the sweet
Dan's
potato for
ranted
all we
about
know.
it. Yeah. See, that's why it's not so bad having you on, because it lowers the bar for the cheesiest jokes on the show. Because usually Dan's looking at me when I crack the jokes. Taryn's giving me this stink eye right now. That was it? That's all I have to say about Kanye?
Okay.
No, I was saying that's all we have to say about Kanye.
Oh, I mean, I'm looking forward to
the chaos
of it all. Sure.
Yeah, well, we'll keep you guys updated. You know what? If he wants to get out there and start the campaign trail, we'll have him on the show. He doesn't even have to fly out here.
I'm sure
I don't think
would.
they're a little dodgy with the border right now. Could you imagine? Me and Dan always said getting Obama on the show would be like the high bar. Mm-hmm. Getting Kanye West on the show? Whew. I think I found out who the ScruffCast is going to follow next on Twitter and Instagram.
Send him a tweet.
Easy. Slide in my DMs.
I feel like he would even leave you speechless.
What does that mean? Like I'm never left speechless?
No, but you always have something to say because you're a really good talker. And I feel like even Kanye could leave you speechless.
Wow, you're really blowing smoke up my ass. You're just saying I never shut up. Which is true, which is why, being a podcaster suits me. All right. Well, yeah, I guess that's all the Kanye talk. Kanye, if you're out there, you'd like to come on the podcast, hit us up, scruffcast@gmail.com. On Instagram, @ScruffCast. On Twitter, @ScruffCast. Now, the next part of the show here, tried to do something a little different. Got to be honest, listeners, we've been struggling with the top 5 a little bit recently. Me and Dan, we just weren't feeling any of them last week, so we didn't do them. This week, me and Taryn were thinking, we had a couple ideas. Taryn had some really good suggestions, which I thought would be awesome top 5s. But then once I started to think about it, I struggled to actually come up with 5. Maybe it'll be something we just throw in as a one-off, like, what are blah, blah, blah. Like the time we talked about movies that made us sad. Or made us cry a couple weeks ago. Anyways, so rather than a top 5, I thought I'd do something a little different, a little fun for you guys. I went back through the ScruffCast archive, all 106 episodes. And I pulled out some quotes with no context to them. And I have 10 quotes here. And I'm going to go through them one at a time. And Taryn, as somebody who doesn't listen to the show, but you know me pretty well, obviously, you have to tell me who you think said the quote.
Okay.
And also, just for fun, I'd like to see you guess the context of some of these afterwards. I'll tell you what episode they're from. Okay. All right. This is an idea I've had before, and I thought I would do it with Dan, because it'd be even funnier if Dan didn't know he said some of these, right? All right. The first one here. Taryn, are you ready?
Yes.
I'm sort of flipping the script. Last time you were on episode 100.
Yeah.
You were the one quizzing us. And I will say, I felt like you stacked the deck on that quiz against me.
I mean, okay. Here's the thing. Of course I'm going to be biased.
What, to make me lose?
Yeah.
Why? Don't you want to marry a winner? Why would you do that?
I'm just kidding.
I
don't know. I don't know how it happened that way.
It's a bad omen.
I didn't.
Really? It was like, what was Dan's question? Dan had some softball questions.
You know what?
It's like, what's the order of every Shrek movie Dan loves? And I'm like, I don't know
You know
a
what?
specific order,
it's because you
but I
are
went 0 for
such
4.
a good friend.
You had to make the questions harder for me.
I had to make the questions
You're
harder
digging
for
a
you.
hole here. Are you saying Dan's a stinky friend?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't know him as well as you. And I know that you are a really good, loyal friend. You're very attentive. And you pay attention to what your friends are saying. So I gave you a challenge because I know that you could live up to that challenge. So.
All right.
You're a visionary.
Although,
just like Kanye.
You know what? I'm not going to disagree. Visionary. If I was a product on the shelf, boom, you'd slap that label on the back of the box, that quote.
Yeah, no recall on that.
Speaking of quotes, I got the first quote here for you. I think this girl's crazy. You get the popcorn to eat in the movie, you eat the candy, or you get the candy to eat in the movie. Why are you going to go get the popcorn from the theater and then go sit at the table and eat it? Just go to a restaurant before.
Can I guess the content? Or, not, sorry, the context of this.
You can guess the context, but the key thing here, and I'm going to keep score of all 10 here. Mm-hmm. Who said it? Dan or I? Would you like me to read it again?
One more time.
I think this girl's crazy. You get the popcorn to eat in the movie. You get the candy to eat in the movie. Why are you going to go get the popcorn from the theater and then go sit at the table and eat it? Just go to a restaurant before.
Dan.
Correct. What was it that tipped it in his favor there?
I just don't ever remember you having such a passion about the way people eat popcorn.
Dan loves his popcorn. Long-time listener to the show will know this. The context was, so that was from episode 11, The Last Straw. The context was we had a listener email where they wrote in about they went to the movies with a girl and they got nachos and they got popcorn. And she's like, oh, why are you eating, or what was it? He wasn't going to eat the nachos yet, or the popcorn because he was saving it for the movie. She's like, "Oh, you don't eat it during the movie."
What?
Exactly. That's a similar reaction we had, and
no.
the listener had. So wrote in with the old classic: "Bueno or no bueno."
That's just a tragedy. Why would anybody do that? It's like that girl's never been to the movies before.
You know, yeah. I don't know. All right, but you're 1 for 1. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, the next quote here. Nobody dislikes animals, but these are just regular people living their lives, and they're like, you know what? I love ice cream. Who doesn't? Now, some of these are going to be hard because there's not context or anything, but I just thought that would add to the, the fun of the segment.
Can you read it one more time?
Nobody dislikes animals, but these are just regular people living their lives, and they're like, you know what? I love ice cream. Who doesn't?
Dan?
That was me.
Oh!
That was me. It was episode 18, The Wacky World of Comas, which, if you're like a new listener, this is probably my number 1 favorite episode of the ScruffCast. I love this episode. And me and Dan were talking about PETA complaining about some Ben & Jerry's flavor of ice cream or something.
Oh, okay.
All right, so you're
All
1
right.
for 2.
Okay, all right.
All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's totally fair. My problem comes from people being like, I don't like this, you should change it. You're not entitled to anything. Not only are you gee, I gotta restart this quote here.
Okay.
I think that's totally fair. My problem comes from people being like, I don't like this, you should change it. You're not entitled to anything. Not only that, you're probably fat and ugly. Or not only are you probably fat, oh jeez, I gotta start again. Oh my god, okay. I have it written down correctly, I just keep messing up the reading. I think that's totally fair. My problem comes from people being like, I don't like this, you should change it. You're not entitled to anything. Not only are you probably fat and ugly, you're kind of a whiny, entitled bitch.
I think that's you.
You're correct.
Yeah,
Was
because
it
it's
talking about
very
entitlement?
judgy. Very judgy.
You saying I'm judgy?
Yes.
Yes, that was me. Episode 23, Spreading the Good Turd. Kaylin was also on that episode.
Uh-huh.
We were talking about a billboard for fat and ugly people to go to the gym
Okay.
in Alabama.
Oh.
All right, number 4. No one wants to see the fat chick on TV. They want to see the good-looking chick on TV. Oh, Taryn really perked up. She was like, oh, what kind of quote is this? Gotta hear the whole quote. No one wants to see the fat chick on TV. They want to see the good-looking chick on TV. Just like you women don't want to see the fat guy on TV. You're not lining up to watch Paul Blart Mall Cop. You're lining up to watch The Notebook or Ryan Reynolds. You're watching those movies with his shirt off. I get it.
That's Dan.
That is Dan.
And can I just say I will happily watch somebody who is not in the normative societal accepted shape on TV. What? What is the context of that?
So, Dan wasn't talking about literally every woman.
Okay.
You're obviously, the best of the best, which is why I chose you, of course. That was episode 30, Fatty Patty. We were talking about women complaining about Debbie Ryan as Fatty Patty in Netflix's show Insatiable.
Oh, yes, that was a hot topic. I remember you mentioning that.
Yeah, 77 episodes ago.
Okay.
I dug into the archives for this one. Oh, I will also say these go from sort of chronological order of oldest to newest as I just worked through and I picked random episodes.
Okay.
So, and also, guys, if you like this segment, let me know because we will, I don't know, maybe we'll bring it back. Hey, maybe Dan's listening. He's like, what the hell, John? I hate this crap. Well, I don't know. But you guys write in scruffcast@gmail.com and let us know. All right. What was that? That was 1, 2, 3, 4. That was 4. You're 3 for 4. You're doing very well. Maybe I made it too easy. All right. Well, if you want equality, shouldn't you be paying taxes? Unless you just eliminate all taxes.
This is you.
Because then it's just like everything's equal, but then you can't fund anything. That is me. Was it talking about taxes?
Just, you go on about taxes all the time.
Because I hate paying taxes. All right, yeah, it was episode 40.
You walk past a piece of trash on the street and you're like, where are my taxes going to?
Okay, we went to this park up the street and it was like, they're not even maintaining this pond.
It's a very nice park.
It was very nice. I don't remember the name of the park, but it was a very nice park. And I'm like, they're not even maintaining the pond here. Why do I pay my taxes? Because it's like, okay. Boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I poop on company time. Right? The whole jingle. It's like, boss makes $1, I make a dime. Government takes 3 cents away. It's like, what the hell?
Well, that didn't rhyme.
Well, it doesn't rhyme because that's the hard reality of taxes. Anyways, yes, that was me. You're 4 for 5. It was episode 43, Hut Hut. We were talking about churches not paying taxes.
Okay.
All right. Next one. There's no context here, so this will be good. I don't want to come out. I'll just die. I'm just going to drown myself in there. I'm done. I don't want to live if I fall in there.
It's Dan.
It is Dan. What made you think it was Dan?
Just the speech pattern
of
it.
Yeah, as I was going through some of these, I was like, I wonder if you'll be able to know based on the pattern.
Yeah.
But no, you got that one right. You're doing very well here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're 5 for 6. Good job.
Thank you.
It was episode 53, The Return of Florida Man. Dan was talking about...
Love that title.
If he fell in a septic tank at work.
Oh, okay.
All right, next episode. Or next quote here. If you had this ability to just chuck tomahawks, boom, like a sound effect. If you're like a proficient axe thrower, what do you think the range is on how far away you could throw the axe with accuracy?
That's
like
you.
The world's best axe thrower.
That's you.
That is me. As I'm reading it, I'm like, damn, this sounds like me.
It's because
Was
it's
it
like
the
this,
phone?
no, well, yeah, the sound effect, but it's just like this random, useless, trivial fact that you're like, I'm really interested in knowing, how fast the wind blows in Wyoming.
Some of that stuff's interesting. I was reading last week about the world's tallest tree.
Yeah.
It's really, really big. Some interesting stuff.
Yeah.
You guys should go look it up. It's called Hyperion on Wikipedia. Anyways.
Is it? I don't know. I feel like Kalen will write it next week and say that's wrong.
I know. I feel like we sort of summoned him because we hadn't talked about it. He was like, oh, I do you guys a favor by not writing it each week because there's plenty of corrections. Hey, we welcome the corrections.
I feel like if you ever wanted to hire an intern to be a fact checker, you could get Kalen to do that.
Now, long-time listeners of the show will know we already have someone for this. Chris. He's supposed to be like our Jamie, which is Joe Rogan has Jamie. Me and Dan, when things are back to normal, put up a nice TV on the studio. We'll have Chris in here.
Okay.
And Chris will be
fact
checking
checking.
it out. Be like, yo, Chris, is that actually the name of the world's tallest tree? Chris be like, oh, damn, yeah, John, you're right on the money. I kind of would like to have a fact checker just to check and be like, John was correct. Anyways, I don't really like how you said that. It's me because it's a useless fact. That's what the show's all about here. But you're doing very well. You're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're 7. I literally wrote the numbers down.
How many quotes are there?
10.
10. Okay.
All right, the next one. If I find a photo of him wearing socks and flip-flops like we're describing, I'm going to make him the honorary 4th or 5th person the ScruffCast account follows on Twitter.
That's you.
How do you know it's me?
Because you run the Twitter.
Yes. I knew it, but the quote was just so good.
Yeah.
So I got to say, it's from episode 64, Get In or Get Out, the Nintendo 64 special. I was so excited for that episode.
Uh-huh.
Who do you think we're talking about? I'll reread the quote here. If I find a photo of him wearing socks and flip-flops like we're describing, I'm going to make him the honorary 4th or 5th person the ScruffCast account on Twitter follows. Who do you think Dan and I were talking about?
Oh, God. Can I have a clue?
Like music artist.
A music artist.
Under 30.
Under 30. Okay. Bieber?
Correct.
Oh.
Correct. All right. Next one. Dude, nobody wants to hear this, okay? Nobody wants to hear what you're listening to in your car. Like, do people pull up and think, oh, I'm so cool. I'm going to open up my door so everyone can hear how cool I am listening to this.
It's Dan.
That is Dan. How'd you know it's Dan? Because it started with dude?
I can just picture him pulling up to that situation and be like, ah.
So it was episode 66, Uncancelable.
Yeah.
When me and Dan talked about how the ScruffCast is, we're uncancelable, which is true. We still haven't been canceled. People try to come for us. You can't.
Uh-huh.
You can't.
I can picture him like whipping a overly cream cheese bagel.
Did we tell the story on the podcast?
I think he said that you did.
We referenced it not that long ago, but
yeah, it's a good story.
It is a good story. So Dan was on the way to work in the morning one time, and he normally gets a multigrain bagel toast with butter, I believe.
That's the only way to get it.
No, you get it with cream cheese.
Cream cheese is
disgusting. But anyways, Dan got his bagel, and it's a little thicker than normal, and he's like, oh man, like how much butter they put in here? They're trying to kill me, clog my arteries, right? He goes open and he's like, it's cream cheese instead of butter. He was so mad he whipped his bagel out the highway, his car window, onto the highway while he was driving to work. I just thought it was a hilarious story because I could just picture him being like, fuck this bagel! And whipping it right out the window.
And caused a 6-car pileup.
Or maybe somebody got a free bagel. You ever think about that?
Somebody got a free
somebody
bagel.
in a Cadillac's like, sweet, this is my lucky day.
There's an ending to that story that we don't know.
No. Because imagine, if you were driving like in a convertible or something, we'll say a convertible, for it to like whip out and then back into the car would be insane. But and a bagel, uneaten, like still wrapped, because I'm assuming it was kind of in the wrap, you just toss the whole thing out, landed in your car. Would you eat it?
No, because it has cream cheese on it.
Okay, it's your perfect bagel. It has butter.
It's my perfect... No. Because I don't know. I don't know who's
You're hungry.
messed with that bagel.
You rushed in the morning. You didn't eat breakfast.
It's like the whole cop with the Egg McMuffin scenario.
I sort of stayed out of this whole scenario.
You know, you just don't know. So no.
All right. Fair enough. All right. One more. These breakfast items are nice. You savor those items. You go out for breakfast. It's sort of the cadence of the sentence here. You go out for breakfast. I love going out for breakfast. I probably like going out for breakfast more than I love going out for dinner.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Oh, that's tough.
Would you like me to reread it?
No. I think I'm good.
She looks determined.
I want to say it's Dan.
You're correct.
Yes.
You went 9 for 10. You exceeded my expectations.
Thank you.
It was from episode 71. Unprepared was the name of the episode. We're talking about the previous episode Dan wasn't on, and we did top 5 breakfast foods. So I believe Dan was giving his recap. All right, so the only one that fooled you was nobody dislikes animals, but these are just regular people living their lives, and they're like, you know what? I love ice cream. Who doesn't? That was me, and you thought it was Dan. You did well. 9 out of 10. I'm a little disappointed. I want to fool you with some of these.
You know what? You're like, maybe I'm using this wrong. It's like your cadence.
I guess.
I just have an ear for these things.
I guess. I don't know. If I had more time to prepare, I could have fooled you more.
You could have thrown in some like previous guests.
I thought about that too. Because there was a couple episodes be like, oh, John or Dan. Oh, no, it was Ian. Hey.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Anyways, there was no top 5. That's what we had for you guys. Did you like it? I don't know. Did you not like it? Too bad. You already made it all the way in here. So let us know what you guys think. How did Taryn do this time? I thought you did pretty well.
Thank you. Would you have me on again?
I would. Well, we got to see the reception to the episode. Because it's just like Disney's like, oh, we're going all in on Star Wars. And then people are like, boo, The Last Jedi sucked. And then they're like, okay, we're going to, that Rian Johnson trilogy, like, we're not going to do that. So,
Yeah, but then they bring in The Mandalorian, so it all balances out.
Yeah, I feel like that was already kind of primed. You know what? So The Mandalorian didn't use a green screen. This is just, you guys know how it is at the end. We just go off the rails here, which is really the entirety of the show. But they didn't use a green screen when they recorded The Mandalorian. It was a 360-degree like LED screen that went around the little soundstage or whatever they're on, and it would just like project the like terrain and the images of the background. So there was no green screen. That's how they did it. And I will say, looked pretty good. If you guys haven't seen The Mandalorian, if we were still throwing out ScruffCast seal approval willy-nilly, I'd probably give it to that. But I won't, because we don't throw it out willy-nilly. But I say I recommend it. I say you guys go watch it. All right, well, we're towards the end of the show. Well, we are at the end of the show. All that's left is the 5 minutes of selfless promotion that we normally do. Do you have anything else you want to talk about? Anything? I mean, we have ants in our house. We've been dealing with that the last little while.
Oh, yeah, that's been fun.
Yeah. So, went to go open the pantry the other day, and you're like, you gosh darn frickers, what are you doing in my home? So went and got some ant bait traps to put it out there. And I don't think they're digging it.
Oh, and you know what, Kate? Have you guys seen that? I don't know if it's big anywhere else, but it's big on TikTok.
Oh, Taryn loves TikTok, by the way.
I don't love TikTok.
You can follow the ScruffCast on TikTok at ScruffCast.
Are you on TikTok?
We have a TikTok account. There's no TikToks yet.
Are you making any content?
Not yet.
Okay.
Well, we could.
You should.
I should take little clips. We got to get that youth demographic. We talk about this. We got to get Gen Z. You know they're shitting all over millennials now?
They are.
We're old and adulting, dealing with ants. I'm such an adult. I had to spend $8 on Raid ant traps.
You know what my favorite tweet that I've seen so far about Gen Z coming after millennials is?
What?
It's they're more concerned about which Harry Potter house they fit into than actually buying a house.
Because we can't buy houses because everything's so expensive. That's why we're living with the ants.
It's because we're buying $30 avocado toast at brunch.
At brunch, but what?
Yeah.
Well, what are your thoughts on brunch? I gotta get some thoughts.
I
on
like
animals.
brunch. I mean,
what's the difference between breakfast and brunch? Mimosas?
It's the time.
But if you go, what's it? Okay,
it's like a late breakfast, early lunch.
So what is brunch time? 11?
Yeah, I would say so.
I never go for breakfast earlier than 11.
No, because you're never out of bed before 11.
That's not true.
Well,
no, that is not true. I'll have the listeners know today I woke up and I was like, all right, gotta go for my work meeting. Turn still sound asleep.
It's a rarity.
It's a rarity.
But anyways, my point being that on TikTok, there's this...
oh, yeah, we're talking about the ants.
Yeah. There's this video of people drawing a circle around an ant, and then it traps the ant because then the ant thinks that it's stuck inside the circle and can't get out. So I made a little... to prevent the ants from going into our room, I made a little ant trap with some magic marker and some notebook paper. And I drew a little fence. And I thought it was going to work. It kind of did for a little bit.
I hear from down the hallway, come quick, it's working. And I show up and 2 ants just cross over the line like, I don't care about your fence line with the marker. It's like right away, instantly.
They're ants that don't believe in barriers.
There you go.
Anyways, so then I tried doing the circle. And it was very exciting because this one ant, he was going all across the circle trying to get out, and then he stepped outside the circle. So
I will say, though,
Mythbusters doesn't need to... What am I saying? I can't even speak. Mythbusters doesn't need to take on that challenge. We solved it for them. It doesn't work.
I will say we had like a second I'd say at least a solid 1 second of like me going, like, no way, it
Yeah.
actually worked, because you drew the circle around the ant, and the ant's like, and then he's like, I got this figured
I
out.
wonder if it's like a certain type of pen.
Certain type of pen, because I was thinking about it. I've been doing a lot of research about ants since I, discovered that they're our roommate here. That they basically go out and they forage for food, and then they find food and they leave a scent trail so that the other ants will be like, oh, I'm gonna follow this guy's. I'm gonna follow Gerald's directions, and I'm gonna go look for the ant or the food. And then they go, and I'm like, damn, you know what? That's like incredibly smart. It's so smart, because otherwise the ants got to be like, oh, let me go show you where it is and bring all the ants, right? And I thought maybe the fumes of the marker sort of, maybe that's why. Maybe it's because when it was first drawn, the scent was still coming up.
Oh, maybe.
And then after the scent faded, he's like, no, I'm good.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
We will have to do some further experiments.
Yeah.
So,
It's like a real life, it's a bug's life.
Which one was that? Was that the Pixar one or the DreamWorks one?
No,
Bugs
that was
Life?
Pixar. DreamWorks was Ants.
Yeah, with the
And they came out around the same time.
Yeah.
With the Z.
So
yeah.
strange.
It was so
Which
strange.
anthropomorphic insect movie do I want to go take my kid to watch?
But Animal
1989.
Kingdom at Disney World it's a Bug's Life ride. Well, I mean, it's kind of like a show. It's not really like a ride. You're not like moving or anything. But that's what it feels like right now.
Oh, like in our home?
Yeah.
You know what? I mean,
Not that we're. I just want to. We're not dirty. We're not unclean. We clean and vacuum all the time. This is just a common occurrence in the summertime.
All right.
I just want to put that out there.
Listeners out there, how do you guys define all the time?
All the time? Like the
Yeah.
frequency of it?
Yeah. Can you say we clean and vacuum all the time?
Okay, yeah, there's varying degrees of all the time. How often do I vacuum?
Sure. Okay. We vacuum all the time. I put
Yeah.
my seatbelt on all the time.
Uh-huh.
That's true. I put it on all the time.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, no, I wouldn't say it's like egregious, like, oh, we haven't vacuumed in a month. No wonder.
Well, it's not every day, but I feel like it's every other day I pull out the vacuum.
Sure. But that's neither here nor there.
It's actually one
won't
chore
take
that I
your-
enjoy doing is vacuuming.
We won't take your judginess, listeners, okay? The ants they just showed up. Well,
Yeah.
you know why? Because we're so fun. Who wouldn't want to hang out with us?
Elon Musk gets ants. I'm sure of it.
Does he?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, I thought you saw a tweet where he's like, damn, I got ants.
No, I'm just saying, like, ants don't care about class or how much money you make. They just show up.
Yeah. They're like the kids on Boy Meets World, and we're Mr.
Yeah,
Feeny. It's
they
like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? I didn't ask for this. I can't escape.
Yeah, they don't care if you're eating caviar or if you're eating Doritos. They just
But
want
how
whatever you
awesome would that
have.
be? Imagine you drop a Dorito on the floor, right? And then an ant comes along. You know how big that Dorito is?
Have you seen the
compared
videos
to an
though of
ant?
like big pieces of food being carried by ants? It's
Yeah,
incredible.
they work together. It's crazy. I
know.
watched this. I think we talked about it on the show one time long ago. I mentioned this YouTube channel, Kurzgesagt or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And they have just like informational, like animated videos on YouTube. And they did one. They actually had a whole series about ants, which I watched earlier this year. Which maybe I was like, what's the term? I want to say mesmerizing.
Okay.
Manifesting.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, there's like ant super colonies with like billions of ants because they have giant colonies all over a country, and then like a shipment will go and like a couple ants are in there, and they're like, oh, let's start a new colony out here, right? Coming over on like they're on the Mayflower, forging a new world for themselves.
Ants. Oh
And it's
man, I
just,
can't remember my thought now.
I'm sure it was a good one, and I'm gonna hear it now.
Yeah,
You're
but
like,
this
"Oh."
might be my last chance to be on the ScruffCast.
Depending on the reception of this episode, I say you had a really solid like 54 minutes to this episode.
Oh, I was
Went off the
hoping
rails
to.
just
I
at
was
the
hoping to
end.
bring it to an hour though.
It doesn't work that way. Dan's gonna be mortified if this episode hits an hour.
Really?
Yeah, Dan likes the podcast being shorter. He likes it like 45 minutes. That used to be the norm. The listeners got really spoiled.
Okay.
Long-time listeners remember Kalon's Back, the marathon, somewhere in the 60s, something like that. It was like an hour and 20 minutes.
You give Kalon An hour and what? 20 minutes?
I didn't give him an hour and 20 minutes. He took an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh
he took it from me. Took the time.
I'm here to take my 60 minutes.
Okay, Barbara Walters, what was it you had?
I can't remember now. You're going to have to think of another topic.
All right. Just because you're my fiance and I love you, I'll give you the extra 5 minutes or whatever. But there's the intro as well, which around like...
Sure. You're also the editor. So I could leave this thinking I'm going to get a whole hour and you could just edit.
Well, normally,
this out,
so I don't do too... Like, I do a bit of editing, especially when it's through Zoom because we're on 2 separate tracks. So then I can edit out when, like, if one of us goes to talk and the other person, like, interrupts them or whatever. Like, cross-talk. That's what we call it in the industry. But since we're directly across from each other on the table, not only does it all come in on one track, but... So I can't edit it, but there's also less of that crosstalk. So... I really didn't want that last topic to just be talking about editing. All right. What else? Okay. Riddle me this, riddle me that. If I was a Joker or if I was a henchman for the Joker, okay?
Mm-hmm. You
so I'm like
asked
morally
me
gray.
this.
When did I ask you this?
I feel like this sounds so familiar.
When did I ask you if I was a henchman for the Joker? When have I asked a scenario that started like that? All right, now I need another one.
No. Go ahead. Ask it. Maybe I'm wrong.
I didn't really have a question. I was just thinking out loud. I was going to say, like, I'm sort of on that morally gray line. And Batman's like a good guy. Like, you don't know me. Would you, like... But Batman was going to come in. Okay, I've got it. All right. You're at home. You're with the kids. I'm a henchman. I work for the Joker.
Yeah.
Okay? We got to pay rent. We have ants in the house. We got to deal with whatever. Mm-hmm. So we need money. Joker pays me well. Crazy boss, but he, I'm getting my fair share of the dough. You get a tip somehow. I don't know who you're working with. That Batman's going to come in and raid the warehouse I'm in. Mm-hmm. And just pummel us henchmen.
Okay.
But you hate the fact that I work for the Joker.
Okay.
And then the city, because the Joker's such a nuisance.
This is like a really detailed hypothetical situation.
Let me continue. The city has this sort of program set up that for criminals that have been reformed by being the shit beat out of them by Batman, and they wind up in the hospital, we get some sort of like pension, almost like CERB is now, right? Or we get some sort of payments from the government, right?
Okay.
The city of Gotham is like, hey, we're going to pay for you. Would you let me know that Batman's coming to pummel the shit out of everybody so that I can get out of there? But then I'm not going to get these payments. Mm-hmm. Or would you knowingly let Batman come in and beat the shit out of me, your husband and father of your children in this hypothetical scenario, right? So I get the shit beat out of me, but I get that Gotham City money, taxpayer money. Time for me to take the taxes back. Although in that scenario, I'm a criminal, so I don't pay taxes, so it's pretty sweet. But so basically, would you let Batman pummel the shit out of me and my fellow henchmen? Who
Okay.
Lunch across from these guys every day.
No, I already know my answer. I would warn you.
You'd warn me.
I'd warn you.
So I get out of there. So now I got no job and no money.
You can find another job.
It was a trick question. Guess what? When I'm the only one not there who gets pummeled, the Joker's gonna kill me. And guess what? You can't get life insurance when you're a henchman for the Joker. I rest
This
my...
is not how I wanted to spend my last 5 minutes on the podcast.
Well, you told me to fill the time, so that's what you did.
I thought you had one of your random facts.
A random fact? I don't know. That's what you get. All right. This is about an hour. By the time the intro's in here, it's an hour.
All right. This is fine.
Any closing thoughts?
Wear your masks.
No, yeah, fair enough. Closing thoughts are usually not helpful. It's just like...
Well, no, this is helpful.
All right. No, I'm saying normally we don't make them helpful. Like you're doing, like,
yeah, no, that Joker thing was not helpful.
It got a chuckle out of somebody out there. Somebody.
I chuckled. That's your one chuckle.
Whatever. All right. Since you're the guest, I'll give you the honor of the sign-off and however you like.
Oh, yeah? Go ahead.
Yeah, start now.
Okay.
I think the listeners are ready to go.
Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. If you would like to write in, let me know how I did on today's episode, you can reach us at the ScruffCast at gmail.
Oh my goodness. It's just ScruffCast. No, the
ScruffCast at gmail.com. We're also on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and apparently TikTok.
Yep, at ScruffCast on all those bad boys. Hit us up. And YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, did you enjoy that Joker rant? Give the thumb up. Smash the bell. Let us know.
I thought you said I was getting the closing remarks, and then you just kind of swoop in there to say at the last thing.
Got to do the full promo. You didn't mention YouTube. So when we see a dip in our metrics, don't you want the episode to do well? If this episode goes up and it's like, damn, we got a lot of thumb ups, and we'll be like, maybe next time we need a guest, Taryn's got to come back. Right? So I had you in my mind.
Okay.
Continue with your outro.
Well, see, Dan, he's trying to replace you already.
Never, Dan. I gotta be nice.
Unbelievable. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back.
As I'm watching her go, all I'm thinking is, oh damn, that bad thing. I can tell you're really good at distracting.
Easy. Slide in my DMs.